Good evening. This is the Library Funding Committee. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 6:01, and I'm going to do roll call. Counselor Good,
Here.
Counselor McBride,
Here.
and Town Manager Burt has joined us this evening too, and myself, Counselor Chair Parker. Can I get an approval of the minutes for October 27th?
I move to approve the Library Funding Committee special meeting minutes of October 27th, 2025.
McBride will second.
Okay. Um, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Right. And no abstentions, no nays. All right, so the new business for this evening is the funding method for the Bill Memorial Library, Bill Memorial Mystic Noack Libraries. We did have that discussion where we met with both directors and Mr. Smith, and we've reviewed our material. And Mr. Burt, did you want to bring up something, or because
Yeah.
you did have a handout for the last.
Yeah, and I went over, you'll see in the minutes, I had shared a potential formula or process for the committee to recommend. I'm going to give me 1 second. I'll share my screen.
Thank you.
And then give me 1 sec here. Has my screen appeared?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. This is the same thing I went over at the last meeting, looking at the three categories of information to use as potential factors in a formula to use for funding the outside libraries. Three of them. First one being number of checked out materials, number of people served by programs, and then their budget. And then kind of looking also at town of Groton revenue. Really, the first three things are the important part. So if you look here, that's Bill Memorial Library. You'll see 19,718 checked out materials, 5,672 people served, and then 366,000, almost 367 for their budget. Now, Mystic Noack, you'll see their numbers here of 40,055 for materials, 11,565 for number of people served, and 1.145 million for budget. Now, as you may recall from earlier discussions, the Mystic Noack Library, they estimate 60% of who they serve is for Groton residents. So taking because they also receive funding from Stonington to serve their residents. So using that 60%, I have taken the Mystic Noack Library numbers and used 60% of each of those numbers in this, since that's what's covering Groton. And then so looking at the, let's see here, give me 1 sec here. These are just, so if you take the 19, looking across the spreadsheet, number of materials checked out, the 19,718, the 2433 for Mystic Noack Library being the 60%, those total 43,751. If you wait, oops, that should not be a dollar sign.
Yeah, I get it. It's all right.
Yeah. I'll fix that later. If you use here, let's see, here I've weighted each of their numbers by, let's see, 0.35 for checked out materials, 0.35 for number of people served, and 0.3 for the budget. Being, what does that look like?
Um,
Oh, hold on a sec here. Oh, okay. I'm trying to refresh my memory here. Sorry about that. So, yeah, it's been a while it's been a month since I've looked at this. Essentially what that looks at is out of the 100%, it totals under Bill Memorial Library, three factors for those three categories, 16, 16, and 10. Once you work out the math, that totals 42. So that means that would be the allocation would be 42% of the total funds. Missing no ink library using again that 60%, and then using that same 0.35. You can see up here that 0.35,
Mhm.
0.35, and then 0.3. Because I didn't want it to go too heavy. And honestly, I tried different variations of this. It barely changes the numbers. It's
The
slight
final, yeah.
differences, like a percent each one. That comes out to 58%.
I get it.
So using this formula again, if you use those three categories, if you weight them 0.35, 0.35, 0.3, you're looking at 42% and 58%.
Very good. Yeah, I went over the last meeting. I rewatched it just to answer those questions that I had, going over the numbers again. And yeah, I myself, I'm pretty satisfied with how you came up with these numbers. And well, I think it may not be the end all in the future. I think it's probably a good starting point, and then we can, if the committee needed to restart at a later time because of how the budgets are working and how it affects each library, then I think we can. So if it's okay, I'd like to make a motion. I would.
Oh,
I
wait,
would.
wait, let's,
Oh,
wait.
let me
Okay.
put up a potential motion on the screen if that's okay.
Mhm.
Councilor
Yes, you can.
McBride, do you have, let's just ask each person. Councilor McBride, how are you feeling about this?
Yeah, no, I agree with Counselor Good. It's a good start. They'll probably make some revisions as things move, because obviously the data as it changes, right, the numbers are going to change. So um, I guess the one thing I think want to make sure I'm clear on, this would be a reduction in Mystic Knowing Library's rate, correct? It'd be kind of a small shift
They're
from Mystic
percent
Knowing.
wise, though. If the council could always choose year one to fund Missing No Ink Library at the number they're getting now, and then just increase the Bill Memorial Library. That would be an option, so that Missing No Ink Library would be held harmless year one.
Okay, that was my
So
main question, was if we were to implement it now, it would be a reduction. So that makes sense. And so I'm covered with the allocation. I still have a question, and maybe it's not for today's meeting, but go back to the endowment and the money that they have and how much interest income they make. I don't know how we can look into that, but there's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars that they're making, um, that could be used, I think, in up years as opposed to taxing the residents. That's nowhere in this calculation. So I don't know what your thoughts on that, Town Manager Burke, because I can see if they have a down year, or if they're flat funding, if their interest income in earnings is insufficient, then I think we could normally fund them. But if they're earning, I think they're, last audited financial statement, they're pulling in $300,000-400,000. So if that's the case, would they really need this extra $200,000? So I don't know how that can be looked at maybe in the future. Move,
yeah,
but I think
and
that's
I
something we
tried.
can.
Sorry, I tried thinking about that. I didn't come up with a good way to use it in formula, and those are policy decisions of the library boards. So if you try to incorporate that right now, you'd be trying to dictate policy to them. I mean, obviously, if they want the money, they do it, or not. But it's something we can kick around in the future. But nothing came to mind for how you would incorporate that easily.
Yeah, if we can just maybe reflect in the minutes that, the committee discussed looking at investment earnings as a way to offshoot town funding, and maybe in the future it'd be discussed, because it's a big number. So, but I understand your point.
All right, this is, did we all agree with that? Because you said the committee.
Or you could put it in me. You can
Okay.
put it,
Uh,
say McBride
Mm.
mentioned it. That's fine.
Yeah, in the
all right.
minutes. I agree. I agree. I don't see how we could incorporate it into this formula, but it definitely is something to look at, annually or quarterly on how they're doing, I guess. But that's another stone to lift for somebody else, I think. I
Yeah.
don't think that's our purview.
Yeah.
And it's maybe for the council to consider when they come with a request.
Mhm.
The councilors look at
Right.
their last financial statement to say, well, what if they make $1 million? Do they still need
Yeah.
that 200,000 asked? That's all. Just something to consider.
Yeah, and this policy does not, bind the council to anything, because per charter, the council can set the numbers ultimately at what they want, regardless of policy.
Okay.
Right.
Makes sense.
All right. So that's two in agreement. Yes, I'll put that in there. A three.
And,
I
and to be
agree with
clear,
that.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that
And,
can go ahead.
and to be
Sorry. Go
clear,
ahead.
we would update the numbers every year. We would ask for these numbers and relook at that spreadsheet and see where they change year to year and use that. So it's not like this would be locked in time 4258.
Right. Right. Yeah, I'm in full agreement with that.
Is this okay? So my question for you, Mr. Burt, would this be an annual review before the budget comes out or after, right? Directly after?
Before, so they have to put the outside libraries have to submit their requests. I forget the exact date, but end of January-ish. We would need those numbers then. They give us their request. They would provide the numbers for the latest year, complete year, and then we would put those numbers in the spreadsheet. And in the first round, I would, in the town manager budget, I set it to what I think. So I would take a look at that and likely set it to that formula. But either way, once it comes to the council, whatever total number I used, it would be broken up by those percentages for your initial motions at the council. But I would need the information at the time I put my budget together.
All right. So that would have to be done if their library funding committee wants to meet. It would have to be done before March 15th, so that
If you
you
wanted
can
to make
finish
any
your
changes to the policy,
right.
right?
Actually, before February 28th, which is probably a solid good line, but that's only if they turn their paperwork into you by the end of January.
Right. There's a due date in January for that. And then of course, even once it comes to the council can still look at their financials and as Councilor McBride suggests that they could make alterations based on what they're seeing.
Right. Right. Yeah, I think yeah, that part should be left up for the council after
Okay.
a formula is recommended by us, I think. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, but I think Mr. Burt said that could change every year. It depends on what they're requesting or how their financials are,
Really,
right?
requests come. I mean, I think it's good to know what they're asking for as I look at the total numbers to allocate, but whatever total number I allocate or you allocate, the starting would be broken up by percentage, 42 and 58.
Right.
But it's still good
Right.
to know
That
what
makes
are
sense.
you really looking. I think regardless of that, I don't want it to be in a vacuum. I'm just I'd like to know what they're actually wanting.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, then I could hold, we could potentially hold Mystic Noink Library harmless and increase the Bill Memorial, depending on how the budget's going.
Right. Right. Yeah, I see that.
Okay. So I believe you said you had a motion.
I wrote one in advance. If you give me 1 second, I've sent one out to you earlier, but I had to make a change, so I think this is it. Let me see here. I reckon can you see it on the screen?
Yes.
If anybody wanted, if you wanted to read that as a potential motion, or do you want me to read it?
I can read it. Well, am I making the motion at the same time? I guess I can. I move to recommend to the town council using the following three criteria to determine the initial town council allocation for preliminary funding to its outside libraries beginning in FYE 2027 with 60% used for the Mystic Noank Library, reported numbers to represent the portion of their service benefiting the Groton population. Number of checked out materials weighed at 0.35 in the last completed fiscal year. Number of people served by the library programs weighted 0.35 in the last completed fiscal year. And budget amount of the library in the current fiscal year weighted at 0.30. I so move. But does that mean... Okay.
Yeah. My only question is that going to I don't have my calculator, but that's equaling out to the 5842. Should that be in the
Yes.
motion? Okay.
Well, but that will change from year to year.
Okay. All right. Oh, I get it. I get it.
So
Yep.
currently it currently is 5842. Next year could
Right.
be a
Right. That's what that equals
28
out.
will
I'm
be
not,
the,
I don't,
all right.
my phone is my calculator, and I'm on Zoom
Yeah.
right now, so
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
Council McBride, you're okay with this?
Yes, I am.
All right. Are you guys, so I think everybody's in agreement on it, that using those calculations, it would work, and there's a good percentage for both libraries. Question, are we holding Mystic Normal Library at harmless
Well, that'll be
for
up
next
to,
year?
that would be up to the
Or is,
council during the budget process.
okay,
Council has the ability to, of course, as always, choose what they want to do.
so is everyone okay with the motion on the,
Yes, I am.
Yeah, if you're looking
okay,
for a vote, aye.
yes, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, so that's 3, no abstentions, and no nays. And yes, I did say that backward. No nays and no abstentions. I think we came up with a good plan. And are we good to go? Unless you
Motion
guys
to
had something
adjourn.
else. All right. It's second. I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. We are adjourned at 6:17. Yay. Nice
Okay,
job,
have a good
guys.
Yay.
evening.
Good night,
Good job.
everyone.
Good night.
Take
Good
care.
night.
Thank you.